In 21st century America, Congress has managed to let $13 billion slip through the cracks in an overladen bureaucracy. $13 billion made by American citizens who work hard in their shops, their fields, and their factories to feed their families. All week they sweat and toil to provide for their kin, but at the end of the month, half their pay is pocketed by their leaders. Even with this injustice clear, the majority party would have you write Uncle Sam a check that doubles our defense budget. And for what? To hearken in some great revelation of comprehensive reform, to pay for some Messiah bill that will magically refurbish the rotten-through healthcare system. To me, this sounds like the talk of dreamers and usurpers. Today, I see a great nation that is divided. A nation that is divided by trivial bickery and skirmishes between parties. I will not sit idly by and watch our republic be torn apart by the hot-headed ideas of party leaders. The time has come to put our differences behind us so that we can work together to form a new future for our nation. Bipartisanship is a theology of the past. Do you not see that there is clear and simple answers to the problems which plague our people every day? Simple answers which do not concern liberalism or conservatism. They concern the welfare and continuation of the American dream. A dream that is made for every citizen, no matter what tier of life he comes from. We socialize healthcare and give government more power by the day. I have never opposed a strong federal government, but with the state of the world as it is today, I can see that we are going down the wrong path. If you want to improve our nation and make the generations to precede us strong enough to rebuild our republic, then it is clear what must be done. Invest money in resources in the expansion of the human mind. Education is listed number 7 on the government's total budget. Number 7. It should be first. Instead, healthcare takes that slot. I recall a time when Americans boasted the highest test scores and the greatest rate of academic success and financial independence. But now, that is gone. Communist nations like China and subduers of civil liberty like North Korea outdo us every single day. Why is this? It is because their government sees the value of education, and they are willing to take that initiative and invest oceans upon oceans of money into all levels of education, not just first and middle school. Use your heads for the sake of everyone. If you can spend money to improve the intellect of the everyday citizen, then you are making a great investment for not only this generation, but every generation that will come. The young that enter the halls of learning will be enlightened and will have the capacity to strengthen our democracy in ways that you can only imagine. We want to give Congress more money and more power? Then why do you risk bankruptcy on a grandiose bill that bears no clear solution or capital? Why don't you use the borrowed taxpayer dollar to dish out more school loans and more grants to open small businesses, which will stimulate our sinking economy? 46 million Americans have no health insurance. I will never pretend that this is not of concern. But we must not forget that at least 7 million of those Americans choose to not have health care. Not only do we fail to recognize this, but we also fail to recognize what ails our healthcare system as a whole. That ailment is inefficiency coupled with a growth in unemployment. First, we need to stop exporting vital American jobs to nations that break child labor laws and pay their workers only enough to scavenge a living from the fat cat's boot. Next, we need to produce more jobs by providing incentives for businesses to take part in much-needed public-private projects, which will completely reorganize, rebuild, and revitalize our failing infrastructure. This will create jobs, which will lower unemployment, as well as the number of Americans without health care insurance. We cannot forget that health care is a delicate system. It is abused by company and citizen alike daily. That does not mean hand over all power to the government. That has never, in the history of our republic, been seen as a way out for Americans. Regulation of big business in an absence of corruption in that government has been the light in the past. Why should that change now? Because we are so dependent on a health care and credit. Why don't we take steps to ensure that insurers do not cheat their customers and limit the price of premiums? Force insurance and credit card companies to print the conditions of their contracts in a clear manner. And when these conditions are not exponentially clear, the paying customer should be given the benefit of the doubt. Comprehensive reform is not the answer. God will not send us a magical piece of legislation to solve all of our problems. Simple, short answers is the way to real change. These simple and short answers must be numerous and effective. You want to pass a bill overhauling everything our forefathers set out to achieve just because we've created a beast too big to shackle. My fellow Americans, consider this. Your father and your father's father gave blood, sweat, and tears and years of their life to fight off the disease of communism, which threatened to engulf all of humanity. But now we are on the road to becoming the very thing they gave their lives to stop. We bow down to the Chinese workforce and do nothing to stop their growth, and the steady penetration into the fabric of American business and everyday life. The communists are still at our back door. All right. And they grow more and more powerful by the day while our strength wanes. Open your eyes. They have leached off of us for too long. Every dollar we use to pay for red goods is a dollar that could build a new school or a new church. Every single family member who died on a beach or in a jungle died in vain because now we are addicted to cheap Chinese crap. Search your conscience and search your morality. You can see that we are doing the wrong thing and that we are failing. It is time to step up and do the right time. Peace be with all of you.